Lucy, once again, thank you for joining us on BRICS Africa channel.
Thank you.
Today I see you right on the ground as you promised at the Gauteng Investment Conference. Please tell us through what was this consultation about?
Yeah. So one of the big projects that we announced and that we were sharing about at the investment conference was the Vaal Special Economic Zone. You would know that there are a few other economic zones, special economic zones in the province, Tshwane, a special economic zone, as well as the OR Tambo, and the third one that is now coming online is the Vaal Special Economic Zone. So today we are here in the Vaal, in Sedibeng, engaging with the community. We have to take this through a public participation process, both in terms of the legal requirements, but actually it's really to get the buy-in and the input from the community. You know, when you are making investments of this nature into the area, when there are projects of this magnitude, one of the key components of success is ensuring that you actually get the buy-in from the community. So this process is actually a critical part of being able to realize, the promises and the commitments that we've made, and ensuring that these investments are actually implemented.
So are the people aligned? What is your feeling?
No, certainly. I mean, there's a lot of enthusiasm about the SEZ and about the potential investments and developments that will come through this. Of course, communities, are raising the fact that they want to be represented. They want to be included in these types of projects and not just hear about them, at a high level. And I think that's a fair remark. There has to be localization and local economic development. And it shouldn't just be about, finding local service providers, but actually driving local industry. The investments are there to catalyze that downstream value chain activity. So even when we spoke about, the billions, the 206 billion rand that has been pledged, the point that we emphasized is that it doesn't start and end there. It's about ensuring that the value that is derived from these investments cascades all the way down to a community level, that it is felt, that it is, opportunities open up for SMMEs, and that we see a broader multiplier effect from these investments.
I like what you said about integration. I saw Deputy Minister Koilimpi from the national side, you leading the provincial side, and I saw the mayors. Is that integration part of and parcel of what the government is really want to ensure that investors won't be stuck in one sphere of government for anything?
You've hit the nail on the head. It is actually our governance structure and how the SEZ will be governed. So the shareholders, for lack of a better word, of the SEZ are effectively national, provincial, and the 3 municipalities that are part of the specific special economic zone. But it goes beyond that, as you are saying. It's really about deepening intergovernmental cooperation to ensure that the left arm or the left hand knows what the right hand is doing, and that we don't have unnecessary blockages between the different spheres of government. So it creates that buy-in again from the different spheres of government and ensures that there is a faster ability to unblock whatever regulatory blockages may be there, and also to ensure that everybody is up to speed and up to date about how the project is advancing. So that is a model that we have seen be very successful with the Tshwane Special Economic Zone, and we've built on our understanding of how best to govern the special economic zones from what we've learned in Tshwane, and it relies on intergovernmental cooperation.
The Tshwane Economic Zone is quite special because everyone knows it's around automotive. I'm not sure what is on offer on this side of them.
Yeah, so I mean, this is actually brilliant because you've got a diversity of companies. The Vaal historically was a leading industrial hub of the province and actually of the country. It's the home of the steel sector, but equally it was actually quite an agricultural location and destination. So everything ranging from agriculture to steel and manufacturing historically was located in this area. So you have quite a well-established sort of industrial base and the infrastructure to support that type of activity in the region. And that's why the SEZ is also looking across a number of different industries, specifically focusing on agro-processing, We've got some companies already that are in the agro-processing space. We also have companies that are focused on the green economy, hydro energy. And then also you've got companies that are looking at manufacturing, and it extends beyond that. So that becomes the benefit of a special economic zone, that the multiplier effect again is not just felt in one sector. It is multi-sectoral, and it is really doubling down on what this area is known for, which
Is the skill still here? Are the people still here that can really perform those jobs?
well, I think we're looking for skills of the future, not just, the skills that would have been here. We have quite a young population and a young demographic. And the truth is, you have people who are school leavers, you've got people coming out of university, you've got people who need to be trained to perform these activities and to participate in these future industries. And that is the work that also has to be done. But it's a chicken and egg.
Sure.
But I would say it starts with making the investments. It starts with being able to say, these are the industries that we want to see located here and focus on, so that even young people themselves, as they plan their careers, as they think about where to invest in skills development, they are actually channeled in a correct direction.
Last time we spoke, you spoke about the growth and development plan, and so I would imagine this SEZ is part of that. And and a question that, what sort of incentives, other than, I heard the Deputy Minister speaking of like the drop in taxation, but do you have any specific for your international investors who are looking out for special economic zones that you can say this is what is on offer?
Yeah. So, I mean, special economic zones obviously are used globally and are a mechanism globally for being able to drive generally export-orientated industries, because of the benefits that you can get from tariffs. And companies, I mean, countries work differently. They have different terms. But in our case in particular, you've spoken about the tax benefits. The tax benefits pertain to countries that are, investors that are coming, international investors, but also domestic investors. And I will say, a significant portion of the investors, even through the investment conference, are domestic investors, 77% to be exact. So that's quite a significant portion. And the tax incentives are also quite significant, and I think appealing to companies that want to invest. But it goes beyond that. There are also concessions and tariff concessions in terms of the cost of inputs. So those who are manufacturing and producing in special economic zones are also able to get zero rating on their inputs, which is also a massive, line item on your expense bill. And so we are looking at how do we make the companies that are operating in the special economic zones more efficient, more competitive, whether they are supplying locally or whether they are looking to export. And that is ultimately why you want to also crowd in companies of a similar or complementary nature, because that also shortens the supply chains. It has, impact in terms of ease of logistics, access to other downstream vendors and service providers, and ability to locate all of that in an area, and that all of that cumulatively drives down the costs that a company would have to incur to be able to trade. And so that's really what it's about.
MEC, thank you once again for joining us on BRICS Africa channel. We look forward to your next step.
Thank you. Thank you once again.